Hi all, welcome to another episode in the Leading Safely podcast. This will be the last podcast for 2022, and my, what a year it has been. For me, 2022 was an interesting year and a great one. 2022 was the year I stepped outside of my comfort zone and hung up the boots and high vis for very much a corporate role as a health and safety consultant. For something different, that is what this episode's going to be about. My experiences making the transition from operational boots on the ground HSE to corporate health and safety consultant. For those of you who know me or have looked up my LinkedIn profile, you will know that I spent a total of close to 16 years working as a safety professional in various roles across central Queensland and Kalgoorlie in Western Australia. I worked in mainly mining, but also oil and gas, construction, aviation and transport and logistics. My roles have been 98% site-based, frontline being the meat and the sandwich between management and the workers doing the work. In fact, when I've applied for roles, I've been told during an interview that they can definitely tell I'm a site-based person. I took it as a compliment, but I'm not really sure if it is or not. Here's my argument for that, right? And this is what I tell everyone. This is definitely something that I have had to factor in when working in a corporate environment. When you're on site and you're standing in front of 1,200 workers, mostly men, at 5 a.m. in the morning, and you are what is holding them up from starting their day, you need to talk like they talk and walk like they walk. You cannot stand out there and start throwing around academic jargon from your 65-page thesis, nor should you start quoting legislation. The workers don't want to hear it, they don't understand it, and they can't identify with it. So you need to be able to adapt and reflect your communication style to match theirs. If they're using slang, I do the same. If they're dropping the swear words, so do I. Banter sometimes is your best friend. It really is survival of the fittest. You have to have a thick skin and be able to give back as much as you're given. And sometimes that is a lot. You can't take anything personally. Now remember, most of the time, my office was somewhere on a mine site or a construction site in some remote middle of nowhere location. 99% of the time, my office has been in a donga with some rickety old aircon that might get to 24 degrees Celsius on the best of days. I've worked a variety of rosters from 7 on to 7 off, to 8 on and 6 off, to 28 days on and 9 days off. I've worked Christmas Day and New Year's Days, Valentine's Days, Australia Days, and all those special days in between. The lowest temperature I've experienced on a site was -7, and the hottest temperature I've experienced was 56 degrees Celsius. So when I think about some of the biggest changes that I've had to come to terms with, from being site-based boots on the ground HSC professional to being a health and safety consultant in the office, this is what I think about. Firstly, the physical working environment. As I just mentioned, I have worked in some pretty remote areas of both central Queensland and Western Australia. Some of those environments were so dusty when you blew your nose, the colour of the mineral that you're mining is the colour of what comes out. On site, the get-up was high-vis, steel caps, hard hat, safety glasses, gloves on your person at all times, and hearing protection where required. I've transitioned to a corporate office environment where most wear proper corporate attire, especially when client-facing. Now don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy dressing up and being able to share my own personal style. But with that does come the thoughts of, do I look frumpy in this? Is this too short? Is it too long? Is it not corporate enough? Should I wear heels or no heels? Have I got enough makeup on? Is there lipstick on my teeth? Do my eyebrows look too dark? And a whole heap of other questions. I've learned to ask myself one question though that helps me deal with all of those thoughts. And that question is, if I was asked to go for an impromptu client meeting right now and promote the HSC team's services, would I feel confident in what I'm wearing and how I look? If the answer is no, I normally go and change, and trust me, this can happen some mornings more than a few times. Next, one of the reasons I wanted to change from boots on the ground roles and was drawn to the consultancy space was the ability to influence a variety of businesses and a variety of industries from the top level down. You've heard me speak about some of the most heartbreaking experiences I've had on site in previous episodes. I didn't want to have to keep having these conversations with management that just didn't see why you had to do certain things like comply with legislation or didn't see the value in minimising risk to workers. I'm a passionate and dedicated professional. I've paid for things like site sheds, water coolers and toilets out of my own pay because if I didn't, we wouldn't have had any. I've put up temp fencing, barricading and bunting. I will get in and get my hands dirty to get the job done alongside frontline workers. As a safety professional, regardless of the role, I would always ask to go on a ride along with frontline workers and work the shifts they worked to see what work really looked like in the workers done realm versus the workers intended space. I really do care about workers and ensuring everyone gets to go home safely to their families. Stepping into the role of a consultant, I haven't really lost that touch, and I hope that the clients I work with see this as a strength. I treat all client businesses as if I am their HSE person, and I will do everything I can to ensure that business owners and directors, etc., understand their roles and responsibilities when it comes to health and safety. If you want documentation created, my team and I can definitely assist with that. However, we do not just create documentation. You can go to another consultancy company and have them smash out a safety health management system for you with off-the-shelf Googled safe work instructions. What sets me and my team apart is that I'm a strong believer in empowerment for sustainability. We don't just create, we educate and we coach to empower the clients that we work with, and we'll take the time to understand the context around the way things are currently being done before we make any recommendations. Sometimes, something does not need to be broken to need fixing, but then something that doesn't need fixing may be okay just being that, something that does not need fixing. Another aspect of change I've had to come to terms with is the work itself. When you're on site and you're client-based, the work you do is what your manager wants you to do, and normally there's no choice or creativity in the manner. I thoroughly enjoy and have felt privileged to be able to create some fantastic pieces of work which are available for clients to be able to utilise. For example, utilising my strength of site-based communication and with the flavour of the 4 disciplines of execution, I've created a program that helps businesses gain greater buy-in and engagement from their workers. I've also created analysis tools and work health and safety supervisor training packages. I am also really enjoying attending events and meeting a variety of different people across a variety of different industries. When I was boots on the ground safety, I can only remember a handful of times when I was invited to attend an event, and normally it was for something formal like a performance review, as opposed to a lunch on a topic of interest or a conference with other like-minded professionals. If you've read my LinkedIn profile or you've attended an event with me, then you will know that I'm a Senior Associate of HSE for the Lydia Group. Prior to myself joining the business about 7 months ago, there wasn't a HSE branch of the business at all, so I'm still very much in the building a client base phase with my team. So, if you would like me and my team to assist your business, we can help out in 2 ways. From a capacity standpoint, if you need a health and safety manager or an advisor or an officer, myself and my team can hit the ground running and fulfill your requirements for however long period of time you need. This could be temporarily whilst you recruit or more longer term. We integrate into your team in the office or on site and work whatever roster is required for the role. Secondly, we can assist with capability. As I said, I have a broad wealth of experience across a number of high-risk industries, as do my team. If you would like to commence a new initiative, need assistance with identifying gaps or scoping your safety health management system, or anything else that is HSE related, we can come in and complete that body of works for you. We work nationally, so can travel anywhere in Australia. To close this episode off, as I said earlier, I would love to keep my team busy coming into the new year. One of the tools my team and I like to utilise to understand the business from a health and safety perspective is learning teams. A learning team is a meeting of a cross-section of your workforce which leads to determination of actionable items to better help the business's operational performance. So, If you're listening to this episode and are curious about learning teams, and are Brisbane-based, I'm offering to run a complimentary learning team and provide your business with a report on the findings. To take up the offer, all you have to do is either contact me directly on LinkedIn or via email to leadingsafely@outlook.com. If you're not Brisbane-based and you would still like to take up this offer, please do get in touch and we can work together to find a mutually agreed solution. Right, so that brings us to the close of another episode and the close of the Leading Safely podcast for 2022. I hope that you found something of value in this episode and in general from these podcasts over the last year. Don't forget, if you would like to take up the offer of a complimentary learning team with a report on the findings, to contact me directly via LinkedIn or by emailing me at leadingsafely@outlook.com. Otherwise, please do take care of yourself over the Christmas and New Year's break. And tune in back on Monday, the 9th of January 2023 for our first episode of the new year. Until then, stay safe.